All right, it's time for a little what sold on whatnot video. Today I had a lingerie themed show. We've got Valentine's Day coming up in a few weeks for me. By the time you see this, it might be past Valentine's Day. I don't know, but I went with a themed show today. I had a lot of hand-dyed pieces, and sales were meh, just meh, not great. Usually I can count on $200 as kind of my low end for a Thursday morning sale, but we were lower today. I think it was 170 before fees, 145 after fees. So not my best sale, but it is what it is. My sales across the board have been pretty crappy the past couple weeks, so this hurt a little bit extra, but I'm gonna go through what I sold. We did have, let me see, I have 7 packages to ship, and 3 of them are going to new to me buyers. And my show for next week is going to be pretty great. I have a lot of fun items, so hopefully it'll pick back up again. But let's go ahead and get started with shipping. So my first order is to a new to me customer. She purchased 2 items. This is a piece that I have had almost since I first started selling vintage. I've had it for so long, and I don't know why I haven't sold it. It's adorable. It sold for $20 today. It's like a 60s chiffon thing. I've had this at so many different price points on so many different platforms, and I am glad that it finally gets to go to a new home. I do not understand why I haven't sold it. I would still, sometimes you just don't make great sourcing decisions, especially early in your career, but if I saw this today, I would still be super pumped and like, yes, but so sold for $20. And the second item that she purchased was this little Y2K era Victoria's Secret camisole top. Really cute. This was an interesting little point in the show. So this ran once. I think this sold for 5 to this customer, but I think the first time I ran it, it actually sold for 7, but the buyer's payment didn't go through. And I've had that happen a couple of times in the past, and I admit, like, when that happens, I don't really do anything. I don't call it out. The buyer gets a notification, so they know. And I don't always keep track of whether or not it has finally gone through, but I think it usually does, because when I sell something, I put it at the end of my rack, and I don't remember ever having run across having like an extra item by the end. So I feel like their payments usually work themselves out by the end. In this case, I did have somebody else interested, and the item was still showing up in the available listings for the show. Somebody pointed out, like, hey, this is still showing up in your feed. So it wouldn't let me rerun the item, though. It kept saying, like, I don't have enough stock. So I even tried editing it to have like an available quantity of 2. It wouldn't let me rerun it. I couldn't find an order to cancel. So I don't really understand how that works, but I just created a new listing and ran the new listing. So it was fine. I don't know what the normal protocol should be for that, and I don't feel like it's going to come up often enough for me to have to figure it out. So package number 1. Number 2 is a repeat buyer. She ordered 1 item. It was this. This is a vintage Odette Barca robe, and I dyed it, obviously, maybe not obviously. These are kind of like iconic pieces. People who are into vintage lingerie typically are familiar with these robes. I've seen them in baby blue, pink, yellow. I had one that was black with a blue ribbon. It was really cool. This one was like a sad, boring beige color, but also just looked aged. It wasn't like a nice beige. It was like I've been sitting around too long beige. I don't know how to describe it. So I did not feel bad about dyeing it. I felt like the color was a lot more fun this way. And this sold for $20. So that was nice. One of my absolute favorite pieces from today's show did not sell. I had 2 40s nightgowns that I had to hand dye because they both had damage to them. And one of them sold, but the other one did not. And I was really surprised. A lot of people asked to see it. It was shown several times. So I'm kind of not sad because it's really pretty, and I'm excited to be able to like model it or style it for Etsy or something, but also I was surprised that it didn't sell. I'll show it to you. The one that did not sell is this gorgeous lady. Like the color is very uneven, right? Like it's, but I feel like that adds to the whole grungy, you know, like, and when I say grungy, I mean like, you know, Courtney Love 90s Y2K grunge kind of thing, like this very glamorous grunge look. I love this. I think it's gorgeous. It definitely got a lot of positive attention, but ultimately nobody bought it today. Somebody did buy the other one, so you'll end up seeing that, but not yet. So let me see. This next person purchased 4 items from me. She is a new to me buyer. So let's see, so she got these cute little like petty pants kind of things. These were originally white. I dyed them purple. Came out fun. These sold for, I want to say 10. Let's see. 10. Fold these up. They were a fun little piece. Okay. Item number 1. Then, these are not in order at all, my hangers. Then she purchased these adorable little bloomers. These were handmade. These came from an estate sale. She got these. These were probably also also $10. Adorable. Let's see. What is happening? That little... There's just a little hair I had to get off. Okay, let's see. Why? Alrighty, bloomers, cute. Then she purchased this Victoria's Secret, like again, like 90s era piece. This went for $15. It's a little 2-piece set with the tap shorts. And then this little burnout top, cute. So, which is good. I've had this one in a couple of shows, so I'm glad this sold. Same thing with that little lace camisole top that I ended up having to rerun. That's been in a few shows too. You know, I've said it before, but I feel like I don't have a great audience for Y2K era stuff on Whatnot, even though Whatnot's very Y2K centric, but it's just not who I tend to draw in, it seems. So, all right, and then the last item that she purchased was this nightgown, which I think is so cute. So it's just a long baby blue, but then it's got these pastel ribbons sewn into the top. Very cute. I want to say this went for 15, but let's see. 10. Sold it for 10. So. And it's funny, I think that the only thing that had any sort of bidding action at all today was the one sale that ultimately didn't go through the first time, so I didn't leave myself enough room to fold this. 1 second. There we go, that's better. So, not a super active show today, which was disappointing, but it's all right. This folded up pretty. The benefit, in a way, I don't know why it seems to be a benefit, but I feel like the past couple weeks have been pretty slow for me for a lot of sales related stuff. Somehow I've got enough inventory right now. I had the lingerie show sourced, and then I've got my Whatnot show for next week. It's not loaded up at all, but I have a lot of the items, I think. Why is this not cooperating with me? I think a lot of the items, I think I already have like a stocked show with the items that I currently have. So I didn't go sourcing yesterday like I normally would. And I've been doing a lot of trying to clear some stuff out. And oops, I didn't mean to do that, but okay. Anyway, those are her items. Got those done. All right, gonna have to sit up there for now. Okay, next. My next package is another new to me buyer. She purchased one item, and this is really pretty too. This is a new old stock nightgown. Pretty applique. It's got its little new old stock tag. I like the color. It's really pretty. You can see I tried a different camera angle today. It's just slightly different, but I don't know why I can't seem to get a camera angle that I like for my videos, whether they're Whatnot or YouTube. I have so many issues with managing shadows and blowing the camera lens out and all of that kind of stuff. I just have a difficult time with it, it seems. All right, this is not quite, it's all right. Not my favorite fold job, but it works. So this sold for $10. Which again, I'm a little surprised. I feel like I would normally have done a 15, but 10, it's okay, it works. All right, next is a repeat buyer who purchased 2 items, one of which is one of my favorites. So she got this Vanity Fair slip, which I love. This has been a couple of shows. This has a very fine run in it, so I think I only sold it for 5 because because of the run. But I'm glad to see it go. It's one of those, like, I was super excited to get it, and then when I found out that it had a run, that was disappointing, but what are you going to do? So at least it's going to a new home. And it always feels good to move out some inventory that has been feeling stale. You know, and I recognize that a lot of times it feels stale, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to sell. But so I got that. And then the second thing was this, which I love. So this is the second 1940s piece. It was one of my favorites. I just really love the way the colors came out. I mean, obviously, sort of a very grunge look on this also. And then you can see all this great lace detail. Sorry about the shadows. This had a repair to the chest, which I was also pretty proud of. It had a hole in the lace. And so I did this sort of like thread weaving thing. And I will use the term weaving. Yeah, it's not focusing really, but I use the term weaving very loosely. But it came out pretty well. It's pretty camouflaged. So I was proud of that. And this sold for, wow, I sold it for 15 bucks, man. I think because of the flaw partially, but I love it. So I'm happy that it's going to go on to someone else who will also love it. And then I still have the second one here that I get to model and try and list on Etsy or something. I feel like people definitely like the pieces, but I also feel like sometimes they take longer to sell than I would like. I mean, obviously I want everything to sell in 2 seconds. I want it all to sell the second I list it. But I have some really cool hand-dyed pieces that are like a similar look, you know, that sort of marbled look, but they've been sitting a little while on Etsy or Depop or wherever I have them listed. That's usually where I tend to put them. Now that I'm cross-listing, it goes wherever it goes, but I don't think I have them cross-listed yet. All right, just 2 more packages. This one is another repeat buyer for me. She bought 2 of these pairs of bloomers. Also came from an estate sale, handmade. She got them in blue and then yellow. Adorable. Let me fold those up. These are really cute. These would be so much fun to just wear as, like, you know, little pajama shorts or something. Okay, those are folded up. And then the third item that she purchased is this vintage bed jacket. This I had in my own closet for a very long time, and I just don't wear it very much. I have, I think, 2 other bed jackets that I tend to go for more than this one. So I decided to list it. And this sold for, so the bloomers went for, I think, $10 each. And then the bed jacket went for 15. So 35 total for that sale. Not thrilled with this fold job, but that bed jacket is going to be so ornery to try and fold the way I normally like to. So it's certainly not like I'm jamming it in there unfolded. Right? It's not the way I normally like to do it. All right, and then the final item that I sold, also to a repeat buyer, it's this. This thing is so cool. This is just like a bustier or corset style bra, strapless bra, right? And it's got its little garters, really cute. And this sold for $15. So, and I love the way the dye came out on that. It was a smaller size. It was a 32A, so because it's sized as a bra and it was smaller, I think that contributed to it not getting a little bit more attention. But also the whole show sort of didn't get as much attention as I would have preferred. But that was everything for that show today. I'm not doing an evening show because I've not started doing those again, but for the rest of today, I'm just going to focus on my regular listing. And continue working on sort of like reorganizing and clearing out some of my inventory. I did take all of my whatnot stuff. You know, every time I have a show, you know, I have the first 30 items are new, and then everything else is from previous shows. And then the next show, those first 30 items kind of get bumped to this, you know, whatever's left over gets bumped up in number. And then I just keep doing that, pushing things off, putting new things in front. And I had like 140 or something things in shows. So I finally took it all off the racks. I'm going to be limiting my whatnot shows to 100 items per show, where I will still run through the first 50 automatically at least. And I ended up with the stuff that I pulled off the racks. Oy. I have 2 bags, 2 of these bags. So I'm going to be slowly, I'll still show some of them in whatnot shows. I felt like it was getting overwhelming and stale. So as I go through these bags, I'll pull some and maybe put them back up on whatnot, or I'll just put them on Etsy, eBay, blah, blah, blah. But it did help me a lot to kind of clear my rack off and not have all of that stagnant feeling stuff just sitting there. So I'll feed a couple pieces back into the whatnot food chain here and there. But I've got a nice, like, fresh show that I'm setting up for next week, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I hope to see you again soon.